Lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Well, that's cool. It was good. It was a year, much needed, because he had a lot of issues concerning his limbs and his hand and elbow and just things like that he needed to recover from. He never really fought 100% healthy. He's always went in with all these issues. So he had some time to rest, handle those injuries. And come the end of June, he's going to look good, man. All he has to do is be a confident Wilder, a focused Wilder, and a mentally tough Wilder. And when he's in that mode, he's the most dangerous man in the world.
Do you feel like he can get back up to world level again after?
Absolutely. Like I said, it's up to him if he wants to. And that's all a part of...
A vacation with Norwegian Cruise Line is so much more because there's more included.
A part of... I believe this. I believe fighters that constantly go in the ring and they may deal with something in their shoulders. They may deal with things that they're fighting concerning health-wise and different injuries like that. I think that can play a mental toll on you after a while. Deontay really, in my opinion, never fought healthy.
Yeah.
He always had hand issues. He punched so hard, elbow issues, shoulder. So this rest that he has had, it's been real good for him.
Yeah.
He has had the time to handle a lot of those issues, and also just the mental rest. You know what I mean? That a lot of fighters need, especially on the second half of their career. He was able to do that. And you guys are going to see his hard work pay off.
Yeah, because obviously after the Zhang fight and coming off the Parker fight too,
Yes.
And there was a lot of calls for Deontay to retire in the media. Do you understand, I guess, with the comeback of people being concerned about him coming back and wondering, what he has left in a sense? Like, you know more than what the average eye might see.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously, important, I guess, prove those people wrong that may sort of not want him to box anymore.
Right. Well, I just look at it like the first half of your career, people is going to doubt you. You proved them wrong. The second half of your career, people is going to doubt you. It's up to you if you're going to prove them wrong. His destiny is in his own hands. Like I said, a confident, mentally tough Wilder is a bad intentional Wilder. When he's throwing that right hand, he's not second guessing. He's believing in himself. And right now, he's back healthy. He's back believing in himself. So you guys can expect him to see, back explosive and concussing people.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I guess with a fighter like Deontay, that meanness in him, or that sort of willingness to throw the right hand is probably not what we've seen in the Zhang fight, or we didn't see it in the Parker fight.
Or you may have seen it in the Zhang fight, but Zhang may have took the right hand.
Yeah.
You may have seen him throw it in the Zhang fight, but Zhang took the right hand. And he took the right hand from probably a Wilder that was a bit unhealthy with his right shoulder, or with his right bicep, or with his right hand. Or Zhang may just have a good chin when it comes to that on that night of the fight. Joe Parker, Deontay just couldn't pull the trigger that night. I can explain boxing sometimes, and that's one night that I would never really understand. He just couldn't pull the trigger, waiting, hesitating at times. Not at times, a lot of times. But the most important thing is now he's healthy, he's back confident, and like I said, when he's healthy and confident, he's a very dangerous man.
And those are the words of Malik Scott, and let me counterpunch. We've used and overused the injury bid. He may or may not have been injured. He supposedly had surgery. So the good news is that's done. Okay. If that was the issue with Wilder, if that's the reason why he didn't have the concussive power in the fight, or he couldn't do what he normally does, that's all well and good, because it's over. Now, if it was some made up over the mill bullshit, the good news is it's over, because you can't use the same excuse twice. Not calling it an excuse. What I'm saying is, regardless of how you look at Wilder, if you think it's BS, or if you think he was injured, and that was the reason why the right hand wasn't there, or that was the reason why he was apprehensive against Joseph Parker. That's all done. That's all fixed, or it's all used, right? However you slice it or dice it. He did mention nobody comes in, Wilder. Nobody comes in the ring 100%. He's always said that, and I thought that was always strange. So there may be some truth to that. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe Wilder was always somewhat damaged because of maybe the way he punches. Or maybe he had injuries that he just dealt with and didn't really fully recover from. Okay, because Zhilei Zhang just reported his issues with his bone spurs, right? So I get what that means. But when you're talking about Zhilei Zhang may have been able to take the right hand, I respect Malik Scott for that, because he didn't have to say that. He didn't have to. He could have put up another excuse and said, you know what? No, Wilder just didn't catch him flush. That's what it was. He didn't hit him the way he really wanted to hit him. You know, that's what it was. No, he gave you different scenarios. Maybe it was the issue with his right hand that was causing Wilder not to punch Zhang the way Zhang supposed to be punched, you know, or connected with Zhang. Or Zhang ate that right hand, right? Meaning he was able to take that right hand, meaning he had a good chin. Okay. And that I can respect, because those are possibilities of truths of what could have happened in that fight, because people understand Zhang got stopped his last fight, but it wasn't because he was getting hit with rights and lefts to his dome. It was because Aget Kabayel is a beast when it comes to tree chopping, body punching. Okay, so, you know, that doesn't include your chin. Anybody can get hit wrong in that liver and they can go down. It will automatically put you down like pressing a button if you get hit like that. That's facts. Okay, just not everyone can land that shot like that. Now, I'll say this about Wilder. Wilder does have a lot to prove. A lot of people want Malik Scott gone. I don't agree that he should be gone. I think Malik Scott is able to coach Wilder. I think it's up to Wilder on how well he holds information. You know, how well does he follow instructions? How long is his attention span? Those are the things you worry about when you're dealing with Wilder, because one thing about the Zhang fight, Malik Scott reiterated after that fight was said and done. Listen, we worked on that punch time after time again. Okay? That left hand was supposed to stay up for that too. You know, Zhilei Zhang, he threw that one and that two. That's the punch that he threw. Well, actually, he threw it down to the body, and then he came upstairs with the right hook. But that's still a 2 count, okay? That's the count that, or the combo that Zhang throws, being a southpaw. That 1, that 2. And he said the 2, he was worried about Wilder, and then they practiced and practiced and practiced, keeping the guard up. But Wilder just didn't keep it up. Okay, so he paid dearly for that. That's what caused him to get hit. Had it been up, he would have been able to eat that shot, or that left glove would have caught that right hook. You see what I'm saying? But it didn't work that way. It did not work that way. So, you know, all in all, is Wilder got caught, and Malik Scott saying, it ain't my fault. Bars. Right? That's what he's saying. So, and you can't really blame him for that. More or less, Ben Davison, you can. Because Ben Davison, at no point, why the hell aren't you keeping your guard up? What happened to your defense, AJ? You see what I'm saying? That's a lot different. But Malik Scott is like, look, I told him to keep that shit up. I don't know why he didn't pay attention to me. You see what I mean? So it's going to be up to Wilder how good he does. Now, I do think they should have, I think he should sit Wilder down and watch the Zhilei Zhang fight and watch the Joe Parker fight. watch that fight and go over with Deontay what he did wrong, which I'm pretty sure he'll do. And if he don't, that's what he should do. Okay. The Joe Parker fight. He couldn't understand that fight. I don't understand why he didn't press the gas. You know, he just couldn't pull the trigger. Well, I don't know why. That fight will always bother me. And I think Malik Scott has to know what really went wrong with Deontay Wilder. What really happened in that fight. You know what I mean? Now, I can tell you this. Things weren't what they appeared to be at that time. I can tell you that. Because Wilder came over there with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, you know, was supposedly cheating, allegedly cheating months before that, but she was still there in Saudi Arabia. So I don't know what their relationship was. Maybe she was just there for, you know, support. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe that transitional period was taking place or whatnot. Because I know by the time he came in back to Saudi, he was not with his baby mama. He was not with her. So, you know, that's what caused everybody like, okay, what's going on with Wilder? Because that is not Taylor Swift. That's some other beautiful, attractive young lady. So, you know, it is what it is. And I think that could be, you know, an overall issue with Deontay as well. So we just have to wait and see. But the good news is, people, he's cleared to fight. He's injury free. He's closest at 100% as can be, right? So we'll see what Wilder will do in Wichita, Kansas, and on June 27th. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.